So this is on horizontal and vertical lines. And anytime you have an equation in two variables, okay, and when you look at the equation, there's only one variable there. So for instance, in example A, we only have an x. In example B, we only have a y. They look like an equation in one variable, but we know that they're two variable equations. Anytime you have a situation like that, you're going to get either a horizontal or a vertical line. So if we look at the first example, negative 3x equals 12. Well, to solve this, all we'd have to do is divide both sides by negative 3. And that gives us x equals negative 4. In this situation, what this is telling us is that y can be any value we want, but x always has to be negative 4. So this is what's called a constant equation, okay? X will always be negative 4. So if we think of this as a table, an x, y ordered pair. If y is 0, x is negative 4. If y is 1, x is negative 4. If y is 2, x is negative 4. And it doesn't matter, y can be negative. If y is negative 2, x is still negative 4. X always has to be negative 4 in this situation. So if we graph these points, negative 4, 0, negative 4, 1, negative 4, 2, and negative 4, negative 2. What we can see is we get a vertical line passing through x is negative 4. So anytime you have an equation like this, when simplified, where you get x equals some number, it's going to be a vertical line passing through that value on the x-axis. In example B, it looks like we have a slightly more complicated equation, but we still only have one variable, y. So let's go ahead and solve this one. We'll subtract 1 from both sides. That gives us negative 2y equals 8. And then we'll divide by 2 on both sides. And so that's y equals negative 4. So just like in example A, this is a constant equation. And what's constant is that in any ordered pair, y has to be negative 4. So once again, if we have a table, an x, y table, if x is 0, because x can be anything it wants, y has to be negative 4. If x is 1, y still has to be negative 4. If x is 2, y still has to be negative 4. If x is negative 3, y still has to be negative 4. Because our equation said that the only constraint is that y has to be negative 4. So let's go ahead and graph these points. So we go x is 0, y is negative 4. When x is 1, y is negative 4. When x is 2, y is negative 4. And then if x is negative 3, we still have y is negative 4. And we can see that all of these points form a horizontal line. So whenever you have y equals some constant value, like negative 4, then you're going to get a horizontal line.